What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the new year, and I thought, what better way to ring in 2021 than with a drawing challenge. If you've been a viewer of my channel for a while, you know that I used to do drawing challenges all the time here, so I thought, let's do one to celebrate 2021. So here's the deal, this is a shape challenge. I've done this one time on my channel before. Beastrek does it all the time on his Instagram page, so definitely check him out. But what you have to do is you have to take this shape and fill it in. What do you see in that shape? There's only two rules you have to follow. Your design has to fill the entire shape, and you cannot go outside of the lines. That's it. You can twist the shape, you can turn the shape, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you follow those two simple rules. And this isn't a digital challenge either, so if you don't have an iPad or a drawing tablet, it doesn't matter. You can do this traditionally with colored pencils or markers or crayons, anything that you can use to be creative. So you can download the shape for free by going to my website, bjdell.com, underneath the YouTube reference materials page, which I will link in the description below, but you'll see the shape there as a JPEG, so you can save that, or you can also click on it to bring up a Google Drive link to where you can download the PNG or the PNG with a transparent background for use on an iPad or any drawing program. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you what I saw in the shape and share my process from start to finish on my design. No time lapse, no edits, it's all in real time. And stay tuned till the end of the video because I'm gonna tell you where you can share your designs for a chance to possibly see them featured in an upcoming video right here on my channel, as well as on my official Instagram account. So keep watching. All right, guys, what am I gonna draw with this shape? Like I said at the beginning, two simple rules with this. Your design has to fill the entire shape and it cannot go outside of the lines of the shape. So for example, this, I'm kind of getting a feel like this is almost like a nose coming down here into like a mouth. So some people might be tempted to draw an ear here and then put teeth down here. You can't do that because that's going outside of the lines of the shape. So just keep everything inside those lines. That's part of the challenge and that's part of the rules. So you can, like I said, twist and turn this any way you want until you see something in the shape. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, kind of see the nose there starting out. So I'm gonna start turning this and I don't really see a whole lot there. Go one more time, and I'm kind of digging this. So I kind of see this tail coming up here, and it almost kind of is sitting almost like on an egg, like a chicken on an egg. So I could do a chicken, could do a bird or a duck. So I think that's the route I'm gonna go with this. So I'm gonna start doing my sketch then to kind of work out my ideas. So for this, I'm gonna go ahead and make a new layer. And this is going to be my sketch layer. I'm going to switch over to my HB pencil. That's part of my pencil pack. Now, of course, I'm doing this on an iPad. If you don't have a digital art program, if you don't have an iPad or a drawing tablet, that's the cool thing about this challenge. You don't need any of those. You can go and download the shape, print it out on paper, or just put a piece of paper up to your computer monitor and trace over top of it so you've got the shape. And you can use colored pencils, you can use crayons, markers, anything you want to turn this into something. So I've got the tail there coming out. I think we'll have kind of like the wing down here coming into some feathers. So we'll pull that around there. We'll kind of have the belly coming up here. That'll probably be a different color than the body. And following that down around the bottom. Now up here, of course, the face is going to be up here, so a couple of ovals in here for the eyes. And yeah, I think I'm going to do a duck. I think that'll look cool. So if I make kind of like a cheek back here coming into the bill, like this. Bringing that around and back up in. Bottom here coming back into there, chin down here. I think that's gonna work. Gotta work on these eyes, pulling them around, get the pupils in there. Maybe have a tuft of hair here. Once again, you might wanna put the tuft there, but it's gotta stay inside the shape. So do some, I don't know if I got enough room for eyebrows here, maybe. Put in a couple eyebrows. We'll see when we come to the inking. So. And then little nostril sections there. So that's gonna be my basic sketch. I'm ready to lay in my inks. So to do this, I'm gonna come up to my layers here. I'm gonna drop this down underneath. And I'm going to turn the opacity of this down to about 40% so I can see it, but not too dark. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this shape. You don't have to necessarily do this on yours. I need a actual clean shape though to upload for you guys to then download. So I don't want to draw on the actual shape. So I'm going to turn that one off and then use this one. And I'm going to make a new layer then for my inks. So for this, I'm going to switch over to my cartooning brush pack and I'm going to use my standard Inker Streamline. And I've talked before a lot about line weights and varying the size of your line weights and the thickness because it can help you determine and show where the light source is coming in. On this one, the outside line for the shape, it's all one solid thickness. So I'm not going to worry about line weights on this one. It's just going to be more fun and getting into it and being pretty loose with it. So I'm going to pull these kind of down into a taper here. So it's got that feather feel to the tail. Bring those down like that. Next up, I'll come in here and bring this around. Of course, I'm still going to use tapers. So you'll see a little bit of a difference in the line weights as they come down to the ends. But overall, we're not worrying about regular line weights here. Those in there, bring this belly part around here, and then same thing back here. And now onto the face. I'm going to start back here, bring this up and around. Bring the bill towards the front here, and back up, back around. I used to draw so many ducks when I was a kid. I had this little duck character that was like my go-to little mascot creation. So you think, hey, how do you draw that bill so quick? That's why, because I had a ton of practice drawing ducks as a kid. I'm gonna bring this one down and around though. It's not lining up right, so there we go. And bring a taper line here into the front of the bill, into the eyes. Those come around, get that pupil in there. This eye around, pupil in that one. Use my eraser to knock out some of those little highlights in there. Lighter line here for the iris coming around. Like that. Actually, I want to redo that one. It looks a little bit off there. And then get this part of a little tuft of hair coming down. And can I squeeze in eyebrows? I don't know. Maybe. Looks a little small. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. Last but not least, get these nostrils in there. I'm gonna get in tighter on this one because it's pretty small. All right, pull them back out there. That's what we're left with. Well, we got the chin here. Got to get that. Get that in there. Oops. A couple lines here around the eyes. And then maybe a couple of tufts of hair here down on the belly. All right, so there we go. Those are the lines. Now I'm ready to color. And I know I'm going pretty fast on this, but this isn't really a tutorial that you follow along and do the exact same one. This is more just kind of seeing my way that I go about this, my process, and then kind of learning a little bit more about Procreate along the way. So I want you guys to definitely come up with your own stuff based on this shape. I don't want you to do the exact same thing I'm doing here. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to pinch my two line layers together. So those are all on one. Then I'm going to start coloring in. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer here. I'm going to drag this down underneath my shape layer, and I'm going to set my shape layer to reference. It's going to allow us to drag and drop the colors down here on layer 4. And I think I want to go kind of with a mallard look, so let's do a green color for the body. I think that looks good. And then next up, let's just do kind of a blue for the eyes here. Drop that in there. Try not to hit the lines. I'm going to turn off the background color so we can see where the white goes next. So I'm going to grab white here, throw that in for the eyes. Making sure to get in here to get those little highlights in there. Next up, let's go to orange for the bill. Fill that in. And then kind of like a cream color maybe for that bottom part. Turn back on the background and there we go. So that is our lines colored in now with the color flats. I'm going to go in here now and I'm going to make a new layer. And this one I'm going to set to clipping mask. So it's going to be for the shadows. And since we've got this layer set to clipping mask, it's only going to show up on this color of this layer. So if there's something over here, like this part here is white, there's no color, it's not going to go outside of there. So I'm going to go back up to my colors now. I'm going to go just to like a dark brownish color for the shadows here. And once again, still using that standard Anchor streamline. Then I'm going to have the light source coming in from here. So I'm going to have my shadows here along this back section. Connect this around, and then I'm going to turn off reference on my lines layer. So that's going to allow me to drag and drop these to fill them in. If reference was still on, it would fill in the entire thing. I'll just follow these lines down, adding in my shadows. Make my brush a little bit bigger here. And then I'm going to bring these down and around. Down underneath, back up, just kind of have a little bit of a shadow here to connect, and then down underneath the wing here. I should have everything connected. It doesn't look like I do though. If it fills in like that, it means there's some gap somewhere along the lines that you don't have connected. So there we go. I've got it all connected now. So we're good there. I'm going to bring another shadow in here underneath the bottom of the wing. On the actual wing though. Do that. All right, so from here, I think come up and move up to the head. Bringing the shadow around there. Drag and drop that in. Go around the back here of the bill. Get that filled in, and then also continue this kind of down and around. Shadow underneath there. And here. Kind of bring that up into the eye too. And once we get all that connected, I'm going to go ahead and drop the opacity now to see what we're left with. So coming up here to my layers menu, I'm going to hit the N here for blend mode and drop down the opacity to about 25, 26%. I think looks pretty good. And that's what we're left with. Now I'm going to kind of connect some of these lines so they match up a little bit better with the flow of my line work. That one back, and I'll probably pull this one down and around as well. I'll just be one continuous one there. Looks kind of cool. All right, so there's that. What else do we need to do here? Probably a shadow along the back of this, inside of those nostrils, down underneath here. Probably down underneath the chin a little bit more there. All right, so that looks good. Pull some more here underneath these feathers. Now it's time to move on to highlights. So I'm gonna go ahead, go back up to my layers menu, make a new layer. Once again, set this as clipping mask. Select white as my color. And start to pull around some highlights here. Once again, got the light source coming in from that top left. So highlights are on the top left, shadows on the right. That there, put one here. Let me get this kind of tapered along with that line there. There's that. I think I'm going to go back in with that brown. It's not saved in there for some reason. I'm going to get underneath this eye too for the shadows. Hopefully that's close to the same shadow color. Like I said, for some reason it didn't save in the most recently used. Kind of weird. All right, back to my white for the highlights. Let me put in a couple of oval highlights here just for some reflective glares. We'll do one there and just do a funky little line thing back here. Make that thicker to do that. Like that, and do another one down here inside the wing. I'm gonna make this one bigger, kind of have it coming into those feathers there and then back up. Just like that. And anything else, maybe a couple of glares here. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the opacity of this now. Going to my layers, hitting N for blend mode, dropping it down. And it's funny because I'm going to erase this one because I don't like it now that I zoomed out and dropped the opacity. So we're not going to leave that one in there. We'll just maybe do a couple of these little tapered things like this. Something like that looks a little bit better. All right, last thing I want to do, add some highlights or some shadows to the eyes. So I'm going to do a blue color here. And made a new layer. I'm going to set this to clipping mask as well. And just do some shadows in here around the eyes. Coming back up to my layers, hitting N for blend mode, dropping the opacity down. And I'll add a couple of oval ones here. All right, so there we go. There's my shape. I'm gonna sign this, if I get on the right layer here, and I'm gonna be done. 21, oh my goodness, there we go. So there's what I saw in the shape. What do you guys see in the shape? Definitely wanna check out what you come up with. So like I said, you can download this shape on my website. Just go to bjaydell.com. Underneath the YouTube reference material section, you can either just save the JPEG, or if you wanna click on it, it's gonna bring up that Google Drive link, or you can download the PNG or the PNG with the transparent background. So you can use digital art, you can use crayons, markers, like I said, anything. It doesn't matter. I want to see what you guys come up with. So how do I see it? Post it online. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, tag me at bjaydell, or you can use the hashtag bjaydellshape so that everyone can see it. Or if you're on Facebook, there's a group over there that I made called Keep Creating, a group for artists by artists. You can post your designs over there as well. So I'm gonna run this challenge for roughly the next 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna post some of my favorite ones on my official Instagram account so you can see your work featured there. And I'm also going to post some of them at the end of one of my videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm not gonna do a full-on review video of the designs, but I will feature some of my favorites. So it's your chance to see your artwork featured on my channel, and look forward to see what you guys come up with. So that's it for me, and until next time, keep creating.